Hey! I don't understand any of the interfaces here. All this to me seems really weird, but there's like a giant beach ball. It's a giant beach ball. Hey! Hey! Come on, man. Let's pass it here. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. It's hacky sack. I got it. Hey, boys. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. You're not giving me the chance to... Let me kick it a bit. How? How do I get a mission? Just tell me. For God's sake, just tell me what I gotta do. Just tell me what to do. Okay, Bungie, let me just say. Warframe lets you move your ship. Warframe lets you move the ship around. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, Bungie, let's go. Let's go. I'm ready to play. Put me in the game, Bungie. Just put me in the fuck. I want to rejoin the activity. Do I want to rejoin the activity? No, the fucking activity was a black screen. Why would I want to join that? It's one of my guys, okay. And I think requires event participation. Okay. Good for you. Good for you. Just an absolutely incredible... What are you? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Okay. I guess I'm dead. What is going on? Immune? Immune to what? Immune to what? I'm shooting the...
Take it. On the bank.
I'm just trying... I'm just fucking trying to talk about fucking shit. What is going... What the fuck? Would you believe that I've never played Destiny before? Not Destiny. Not Destiny the original. Not even Destiny 2 until right now. Like, I've done a couple of missions. I tried it out, you know, since it's been free to play. I figured, got nothing to lose. Might as well give it a shot. But, yeah. I think there's a bit of a learning curve to this game. There's a little bit of a learning curve.
I must once again ask you to bend.
It's super fun. It's super fun. I'm enjoying it. I like the style. I like the music. I like, you know, it's Bungie, so you know it's good. But oh. I think there's one other guy with me, and he must be wondering what the hell is going on. So, first of all, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Jameson from the Gaming Couch. Yep, that's me, just failing miserably. Not even being able to jump jet adequately across a tiny precipice, like something that would be the equivalent of your first challenge in a new game. That's me. Thanks for tuning in. I'm really happy to have you with me. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Thank you so much for everything you do, all the hard work you put in, all the sacrifices you make. They're all really appreciated, and if they aren't right now, you know, they will be one day. Mark my words, they will be one day. So, the reason I wanted to do a little bit of, you know, live gameplay, live commentary, so I wanted to talk a bit about... Uh-oh. Where even do I need to go? Like... Anyway, while I figure this out, I just want to talk a little bit about, you know, some of the big news that's happened in the past week or two in the gaming industry. And I didn't really have to look too far, you know, this wasn't like something that I had to think about too hard. Obviously, the two biggest things are the PlayStation 5 event, which was huge, absolutely enormous, and EA Play. So, I think I'll start off with the PlayStation 5 event, since that was sort of the first thing to happen. And right off the bat, I just want to say that I think it was a huge success. I think Sony really knocked it out of the park with this. They hit the nail on the head. They did a fantastic show, something that was really, really fun and very exciting for so many people. Not necessarily just PlayStation fans, you know. It was something was something very exciting for everybody. And, you know, we saw so many great games. We saw Spider-Man Miles Morales. We saw Horizon Forbidden West. We saw just an incredible showing of the Demon's Souls remake. And, you know, just to go on a little tangent here, so many people, I know so many people who are fans of the Dark Souls franchise. Whether that be 1, 2, 3, regardless of the platform. Regardless of the platform they play it on, whether that be Xbox, PlayStation, PC. You know, a lot of them got that love for Dark Souls by playing Demon's Souls. That whole game launched an incredible franchise and almost a genre. Like nowadays, if combat is challenging in a game, you compare it to Dark Souls. It's a Souls-like game. All right, you're just doing all the work, aren't you? Okay. And for us to get a remake of Demon's Souls, that's going to be a big system seller, and that's a no-brainer. Like I'm talking as if I know what I'm talking about, but you know, anybody with half a brain knows that that's going to be a big system seller. So that was really cool. But another thing that I really liked about the PlayStation event was that they gave such a big platform to independent studios, independent developers, to show off, you know, what they're working on, what they're doing that's going to come to the PlayStation 5. And I think that's really important to acknowledge, and it's really important to, you know, to praise Sony for doing that. They didn't have to. They could have just focused on first and third party titles and called it a day, but they really did give a big platform for indie devs and indie studios. I think that's really cool. And, you know, talking about indie games, what's coming to the PlayStation 5, I'm really excited. I think this is a big turning point for indie studios. Kena, Bridge of Spirits by Ember Labs. Is it Ember Labs or Ember Studios? I'm sorry. Forgive me for that. I always mix them up. But what Ember is doing with Kena, first of all, visually looks stunning. Looks like a beautiful game. A lot of them apparently have a background in film, so you know I find it really shows, and that's something that looks very cool. And if they can deliver on their promise of creating an emotional game, you know, of personal growth, I think that's something that's gonna, you know, you're gonna have to keep an eye on that. You're gonna have to keep an eye on that. And then for me, really the most interesting of all the indie titles that was showcased, it's gotta be Goodbye Volcano High. No, it's not. It's not Goodbye Volcano High. And look, I'm sorry. I know it sounds mean the way I'm saying it right now. It sounds really mean. I'll reiterate in a second. I don't mean any disrespect to Co-op or their title. But really, for me, what was the most interesting was Little Devil Inside by Korean developer Neostream. I mean, you just go back and you look at the trailer, and just visually, it's such a unique looking game. It just looks so fun, and that sort of mix of adventure, exploration, and I'm not too sure how the old man fits into that, but you know what? That's okay. That's something that I'm really looking forward to. Of course, I died. It's something I'm really looking forward to discovering. Okay, thank you. As time goes on and as more gameplay is shown, and you know, as other trailers come out, right now, Little Devil Inside is probably my most hyped game, regardless of all the other ones that were shown for the PS5 event. But going back to Goodbye Volcano High, you know, I think it's one of the most unfortunate games to be showcased during the event. And I mean that, what I mean by that is nowhere have I looked, and I have looked. So maybe I don't visit the same kind of websites as a lot of people. Maybe I'm completely in the wrong here. But everywhere I've looked, the game is not getting any sort of positive, I don't want to say criticism, because you can't really criticize a game when all you got is an animated trailer, but I'm just not seeing people hyped up for that game, you know, compared to Little Devil Inside or compared to Kena Bridge of Spirits. I guess it's a shame. You know what? I don't know if it's the art style, or even just the premise of the game, the story behind it. It's just not getting that it's just not getting that positive sort of vibe, and it's not getting that hype that the other games are getting. But look, again, I totally understand. You know, if I'm talking in a completely personal, you know, subjective, biased way, it's not a game that for me is very interesting. It's not a game that I'm necessarily very hyped to see. I think it appeals to, you know, a specific type of audience, and you know, in that audience, it's gonna sell very well. But you know, the thing with Co-op is I know of Co-op. They're a indie studio. They're based in Montreal, and from the little that I know about them, you know, I think they're the kind of studio that makes games that they want to make. They don't necessarily want to cater to the mainstream or to what everybody else wants to play, which is, you know what, it's fine. It's fine. More power to them. I think, you know, when you're a small team, if you can afford to make the kind of games you want and have that creative vision, and you want to go ahead with that, 100% go right ahead, regardless of what other people think. You know what, you're always going to find an audience for your product, as long as it's quality. And I think that's one of the things too, is that we didn't necessarily see any gameplay. It was just like this animated trailer. So I've seen people online say that the game might play a little bit like Night in the Woods, or it might play a little bit like Life is Strange. And we'll just have to wait and see until more info comes out, until maybe a gameplay sort of trailer or a dev diary comes out, and they explain a little bit more how the game works and what the real premise is, apart from, you know, like right off the bat, you can sort of imagine that there's a meteorite coming down on Earth, but yeah, so, you know, I don't know. It's not the game that I'm gonna jump on at launch, but it could be interesting. I'll wait to see a bit more about it, see if there's any dev diaries that come out or any sort of gameplay, just to get an idea, you know, generally speaking, of how the game is, how the game plays. But apart from the PlayStation event, which by the way, I just want to say this, now that I'm thinking about it. The PlayStation 5, I know there's a lot of memes out there saying it looks like a router, it looks humongous. I think, personally, that the PS5 looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good, you know, compared to the big-ass PS3 that we had, and even compared to the PS4. I think it's something that looks a little modern, and you can put it in your living room, and it sort of melds with the decor. Would I like it to be black? I think it would look very nice black. But regardless, I think it's a really good looking console, really sleek, really modern. But beyond the PS5 event, you know, we also had EA Play. And whereas I thought that the PlayStation event was awesome, EA Play was really disappointing. Aside from the fact that we had Skate 4 announced to be in development, there was nothing really that interesting or that, you know, I mean, look at it from a press point of view. They talked a bit more about Star Wars Squadrons, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong, it's great. It looks really interesting. It looks really fun. But that's not necessarily news, right? And then they talked about The Sims 4, which is great. You know, if you're a Sims fan, that's fantastic. But they didn't really give out any news, did they? They didn't announce an expansion. They didn't announce The Sims 5. They just said, hey, The Sims is about diversity, which is excellent, which is true. It's fantastic. And then they said, hey, The Sims 4 is available on Steam. Which isn't necessarily news, right? Because outlets were reporting that The Sims 4 was on Steam earlier that day. So it's not even like they waited for EA Play to shift things over to Steam. So, you know, I mean, if you're a Sims fan, that's fantastic. If you're a Sims fan who uses Steam, great. I mean, you can have all your games, you can have your whole collection on Steam. That's fantastic. But I mean, in June 2020, with next gen being so close, and you're not announcing any sort of next gen games. I mean, I guess that EA has their strategy, and you know, that's fine. But come on, you're coming off the heels of the PS5 event, and you're not announcing anything really new. I mean, great, Apex is getting crossplay, fantastic. You know, it's coming to the Nintendo Switch, excellent. That's good. But that's it, right? That's really it, and it was just kind of overall disappointing. Overall disappointing. Like, I wasn't expecting like Battlefield 6 to be announced. I wasn't expecting to see, you know, revolutionary new games. But at the very least, it would have been, bear with me here, it would have been fun to maybe see a bit, you know, I was looking forward, honestly, myself, to hearing a bit, maybe Mass Effect Trilogy Remastered. Oh man, that would have been good. That would have been really cool. But no. No, we got The Sims 4 on Steam, we got a bit more of Squadrons, and then, you know, Apex is getting crossplay and is coming to Steam. Okay. Okay, I guess. Did I say that Apex was coming to Steam? I meant Apex is coming to Nintendo Switch. You'll have to. Oh, jeez. Okay. You'll have to. You'll have to forgive me for that. That stupidity. But overall, you know what? I think regardless of how I found EA Play, I think this is a big. It should be a wake up call. Oh. It should be a wake up call to. Okay, I'm dead. It should be a wake up call to E3. You know, E3, it had its place, it had its time, but now when you're seeing companies like Sony and EA putting up these big live streams and drawing in so many people, it's kind of hard now to justify being E3 and saying, oh, well, now we're renting out a conference center, and, you know, members of the press, come on in, and if you want to come, you can, but if you can't afford a flight or you don't feel like traveling to LA, too bad for you. It doesn't work anymore, right? Not when you're seeing an event like the PS5 reveal just drawing in so many people, and it was so fun to see everybody just get hyped for these announcements for these games. And I don't want to say that that E3 was like a members only club. It wasn't. Like I said, if you could make it there and you could purchase your entry, you could get in. But if you couldn't, or if you didn't want to, well, then you were essentially on the sidelines and you were just watching the news trickle in. But it's not like that anymore. Not in 2020, when you can live stream something on YouTube, or on maybe even your own channel. It's just not. It doesn't work. It's tough to justify. So I think that really, if E3 wants to continue to live and it wants to continue to matter, they're going to need to revisit their business model, and they're going to need to find a way to make things more digital, just more accessible to everybody. It doesn't make any sense now to just do it live, do it in person. That's not how it works. At least not when you see Sony draw in so many people. But yeah, so that was essentially what I had to say on that. You know, if you have an opinion about the PS5 event, or if you have an opinion about EA Play, or even just E3's future, let me know down in the comments. Tell me about it. I'm really interested. I want to know what you guys think.
It's over.
There we go.
Is dead.
This is a relief to hear, but Hashladoon's presence is no coincidence.
Overall, I think Destiny's kind of cool. It has this learning curve I'm gonna have to get used to for sure. I understand the basic premise of it. I understand how it works, but I don't know. I gotta get used to it. I'm not used to this in a first person shooter. I'm more used to it in a Diablo or Grim Dawn sort of setting. So yeah. With that being said, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Like I said, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Let me know what you guys think of the PS5 event, what you think of EA Play. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave a dislike. That's fine too. You know, the only way that I can adjust the content here is by knowing what you guys like and what you guys don't like. And if you want to subscribe, help out a small independent news outlet, that would be very appreciated. Make sure you never miss any more content. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for bearing with my limited skills in Destiny 2.